Hugh John Lofting was a British author, trained as a civil engineer, who created the character of Doctor Dolittle, one of the classics of children's literature. Personal life. Lofting was born in Maidenhead, Berkshire in January 1886 to English and Irish parents. His eldest brother was Hilary Lofting, who later became a novelist in Australia, having immigrated there in 1915. Hugh Lofting was educated at Mount St Mary's College in Spinkhill, Derbyshire. From 1905 to 1906 he studied abroad, taking classes at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the USA. He traveled widely as a civil engineer, before enlisting in the Irish Guards Regiment of the British Army to serve in the First World War. Not wishing to write to his children about the brutality of the war, he wrote imaginative letters which later became the foundation of the successful Doctor Dolittle novels for children. Seriously wounded in the war, in 1919 Lofting moved with his family to Killingworth, Connecticut, in the U.S. He was married 3 times and had 3 children, one of whom, his son Christopher, is the executor of his literary estate. Lofting commented, "For years it was a constant source of shock to me to find my writings amongst juveniles. It does not bother me anymore now, but I still feel there should be a category of seniles to offset the epithet." Doctor Dolittle. Hugh Lofting's character Dr. John Dolittle, an English physician from Puddleby-on-the-Marsh in the West Country, who could speak to animals, first saw light in the author's illustrated letters to children, written from the trenches during the War of 1914 to 1918, when actual news, he later said, was either too horrible or too dull. The stories are set in early Victorian England in the 1820s-1840s. He lived in Killingworth, Connecticut while writing most of the installments to the series. The story of Doctor Dolittle, being the history of his peculiar life at home and astonishing adventures in foreign parts never before printed, began the series and won the Lewis Carroll Shelf Award in 1958. The sequel, The Voyages of Doctor Dolittle, won Lofting the prestigious Newbery Medal. 8 more books followed, and after Lofting's death 2 more volumes appeared, composed of short unpublished pieces. The internal chronology of the books is somewhat different from the publishing order. The first book is followed by Dr. Dolittle's Post Office, Dr. Dolittle's Circus and Dr. Dolittle's Caravan. Only then follows the second book, The Voyages of Doctor Dolittle, continued by Dr. Dolittle's Zoo. After that, the publishing order is restored. Dr. Dolittle's Garden is followed by Dr. Dolittle in the Moon and Dr. Dolittle's Return, ending with Dr. Dolittle and the Secret Lake. The series has been adapted for film and television many times, for stage twice, and for radio too. Other works for children. The Story of Mrs. Tubbs and Tommy Tilly, and Mrs. Tubbs are picture books aimed at a younger audience than the Dr. Dolittle books. They are about the old woman of the title and her pets with whom she can speak, and the animals who help her out of trouble. Porridge Poetry is the only non-Dolittle work by Lofting still in print. It is a light-hearted, colorfully illustrated book of poems for children. Noisy Nora is a cautionary tale about a girl who is a noisy eater. The book is printed as if handwritten, and the many illustrations often merge with the text. The Twilight of Magic is aimed at older readers. It is set in an age when magic is dying and science is beginning. This work is the only one of Lofting's books to be illustrated by another person. Victory for the Slain. Victory for the Slain is Lofting's only work for adults. A single long poem in 7 parts about the futility of war. The refrain, "In war the only victors of the slain," permeates the poem. It was published only in the United Kingdom. Works. The Story of Doctor Dolittle, ISBN 9780099427322. The Voyages of Doctor Dolittle, ISBN 9780099854708. Dr. Dolittle's Post Office, ISBN 9780099880400. The Story of Mrs. Tubbs. Dr. Dolittle's Circus, ISBN 9781612035390. Porridge Poetry. Dr. Dolittle's Zoo, ISBN 9780099880301, ISBN 9780397300099. Dr. Dolittle's Caravan, ISBN 9780099854500, ISBN 9780397300112. Dr. Dolittle's Garden, ISBN 9780099880509. Dr. Dolittle in the Moon, ISBN 9780099880608, 9781612035369. Noisy Nora. The Twilight of Magic. Gub Gub's Book, an Encyclopedia of Food. Dr. Dolittle's Return, ISBN 9780099880707. Dr. Dolittle's Birthday Book. Tommy, Tilly, and Mrs. Tubbs. Victory for the Slain. Dr. Dolittle and the Secret Lake, ISBN 9780099880806. Dr. Dolittle and the Green Canary, ISBN 9781406763393.